Welcome back to Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy. We're gonna get straight into our explosive penny stock watch list. First stock of the day, Humble. And so we got our definitive answer here on Humble. Humble is going to continue to bleed here in the short term. We did get a false breakout right here, which was a bull trap. And now we are going to start to bleed down here in the short term. The reason why I say that, our RSI you could see is on a clear downtrend right now. And we could see Humble just bleed until about September of 2021. And so at this point in time, I would not be buying Humble. I am going to wait and watch because we have a clear uptrend line right here. And so we would love to see a back test at this point. If we get a nice back test and confirmation at this level, that is actually extremely bullish because that will let us know that our bull run and our uptrend is still intact. If, however, we break down from this point and we break down from this level of support, we are in an official downtrend in Humble. But until then, we can't make that decision. Ultimately, in my opinion, Humble is a hold. If we get down to this uptrend line and we get a bounce, that becomes an extraordinary opportunity to buy the dip. And so that's exactly what I think is going to happen here on Humble. We're going to see a lot worse days before we see better in the short term. And so overall on Humble, if you did get in at this point, just hold out on averaging down until we actually find a true bottom, because right now it looks like we will start to bleed to the downside. Second stock of the day, we're looking at WDLF on the daily time frame, and same thing, this stock broke its wedge to the downside, and so we expect it to bleed further down. We were down 15%, and we actually did find support here on our uptrend line. So WDLF is at a very critical line right now. If we cannot hold this level, then our uptrend has been broken, and then we should start to see more movement to the downside. I have updated this little pennant right here, and it could go as low as 0.06. If we do get to this point, this becomes a very nice buying opportunity. Right now, I have two levels of support that I'm watching. First one being right here. If we get a back test and we get a nice solid confirmation on Monday, this becomes a nice opportunity to buy in and average down for me personally. However, if we break past this level, I would be looking to average down at this level. And so on a technical level, our RSI is at a 34. We're almost oversold here. So I do expect us to find a bottom around this area. And so if we find it on this uptrend, that would actually be extremely bullish. And so now that we have got our back test again on this uptrend, we should see if we still have that bullish momentum. And so come Monday and Tuesday, we would love to hold this level on this uptrend, because this is going to be a very indicative line for good price action. Next stock of the day, we're looking at IGEN on the daily time frame. So IGEN actually had an extremely bullish day today. I averaged down more today, and I wish I threw in more money because I do think this was our short-term bottom. The reason I say that is because this is a nice hammer bullish candle, and so this is a nice sign of a reversal. You can see we tested lows today of about 0.006, and so at that level, whoever got to snag up those cheaps made a nice little move today. But this is usually a sign of a reversal right here, when you get prices this low but then you claw all the way back up. And so if we're just looking at it on our chart here, we are on a level of support that does coincide with our uptrend here on IGEN. And so if I'm looking at our MACD right now, our MACD is extremely close to our signal line, so it won't take too much for it to cross over. If we get one solid green day, we should start to see that trajectory move up, and that would be extremely bullish. And so with IGEN right now, I do think we are starting to find a short-term bottom. I believe altogether, if IGEN holds this level of support at 0.0075, this is a very, very nice loading zone. And this is exactly what I'm waiting for. Anytime I've got price action here, I personally have been adding on my position in IGEN. And if we do get to see more price action in this area, I will continue to do the same. And so I could not be more excited with IGEN right now. I believe we are finally going to start to see some positive price action next week. We may not get the run that we want, but we should start to just break up a little bit. Our RSI again is at 36, so we are almost oversold here. IGEN has been continuously just going down. We have seen crazy fluctuations in price, down 15 to 20% and then closing in the green. And so there's a lot of volatility, a lot of market manipulation, a lot of accumulation at these levels, and I am part of that accumulation. And so at the end of the day, I am going to hold this one until I hit my target price. Next stock of the day, we're looking at ACDC on the daily time frame, and we were up 31%. So I told you guys yesterday, we filled the gap here, and anytime you fill a gap like this, this is an extremely bullish signal. And so this was the buying opportunity that I was talking about for a while. You guys know that I've been saying once you get to this point, buy ACDC, and it just lined up perfectly. You could see we filled the gap right on our uptrend as well. And so it could not have been any more picturesque here on ACDC. Filled the gap, and then it exploded to the upside, up 30%. Those of you guys who listened and caught this here, congratulations, because that was a solid move. Next stock of the day, we're looking at high tide on the daily time frame. So we're up 5% today on high tide, and we would love to see the price action get back into this channel right here and then eventually get a back test on this uptrend line. So this uptrend line right here for a lot of our stocks is pretty much the last line of defense. If we break past that, we will start to see lower lows. High tide does fill this gap to the downside at 31 cents. You guys know I'm a big believer of all gaps get filled. If it gets filled here, I would be going crazy on buying high tide at these levels. And so with that being said, I would not be buying high tide right now since we broke down from this pattern. I would be waiting and watching because this could be a very opportunistic time to be buying high tide. I believe if it gets to these prices and you have some dry powder, this is going to be a once in a lifetime opportunity here to get into high tide. Next stock of the day, we're looking at STAF on the daily time frame. So STAF had a complete breakdown, and so we were following this uptrend right here, and this was our first stock to actually break down to the downside on our uptrend. And so this was extremely bearish. Our RSI is at a 32, so we're almost oversold here, and this could be a very nice opportunity to scoop up some shares on STAF. You can see we're well below all of our SMAs, and so in my opinion, I think this is a solid buying opportunity on STAF to get in because we are almost oversold here on STAF. Next stock of the day, looking at SNDL on the daily time frame. And so again, we were watching this uptrend line and SNDL broke below it, so that was extremely bearish. But on our RSI, we are getting to that same oversold level, and so at these levels, these are buying opportunities in my opinion, even though we're down after market. And so anytime you can get a stock near a 30 RSI and a 200-day SMA, that is always going to lead to some potential gains. There's always more room to the upside than to the downside in situations like that. Next stock of the day, we're looking at MJNA on the daily time frame. And so now that MJNA has been consolidating under this level of resistance right here, we are just going to wait and watch. I believe that if MJNA gets past this level of resistance, gets the back test, that is the buying opportunity, and that is when you should buy in on MJNA. If you are a long-term investor, these prices are going to be very attractive for a long position, but for a lot of these penny stocks, I believe in trading them. And so if we are trading MJNA, wait till we break past this level of resistance and back test it, because that is a level of resistance that this stock has had a lot of trouble breaking. So once it does break, it will run off extremely quick. Next stock of the day, we're looking at ALYI on the daily time frame. We had a super solid day, 15%. It did look like we found a bottom here on our 100-day SMA. And so the next move here for ALYI is to get above this level of resistance and continue to trade above this point. Under this point, we are in no man's land. Above this point, we are bullish on ALYI. Next stock of the day, we're looking at HYSR on the daily time frame. And so this stock is still extremely bearish, in no man's land. It looks like a lot of head and shoulders happening over here. And so RSI at a 39, it does look like we could cross over again to the downside on HYSR. So I am completely bearish on HYSR right now. I just think there's a lot more room to the downside. On our uptrend still, we have a long ways to go until we get to this point. And so I'm still saying don't be buying HYSR because it does look like this is going to go lower in the short term. You could see our 50 SMA is having that nasty crossover to the downside, and that does not look good at all for HYSR. There you guys have it. That was a quick little update here on our explosive penny stock watch list. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like. We are on the road to 10K subs, so if you made it to this point, feel free to hit that subscription button. This is Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy, and I'll see you guys in the next one.